is in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Brett. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can Chris and I help?
Well, actually, this is a sensitive subject. Me personally, me and my wife, we're on baby step 2. We've paid off about $14,000 so far into our debt. We're like halfway done.
Good.
And we should be done with baby step 2 in June, which is going to be my birthday present, and then we'll, move on to 3. But the question that I have today is regarding my in-laws. And I called into the show once. I got all jumbled up, so I wrote everything down here. So if you don't mind, I'll just go through it real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm concerned that my in-laws' lack of financial planning and discipline will ultimately become my family's burden. They have the means to do well, but not the knowledge or discipline at the moment. They're emotional, not logical. They know there is a problem, but number 1, won't admit it, and number 2, will get upset or feel belittled by me if I were to express my concerns. How do I help them? How do I have that conversation with them? How do I make it seem like it's kind of like their own idea rather than me telling them what to do? And how do I get them started with Financial Peace University?
How long have you been married?
Me and my wife have been together for 10 years, married for 3.
Okay. And through the majority of your married life, you pretty much were like your in-laws.
Yes, exactly.
So how would someone talk to you?
I guess it would just have to be a kind of an upfront situation.
What happened to you? Why did you change?
Well, I guess it was because I just got tired of seeing, that $35 non-sufficient fund fee because I had no idea where my money was going. It was
and
like
then you
week.
Googled and found Dave Ramsey or what?
Actually, it was my work offered the Dave Ramsey program for a year for all of its employees.
Yeah, smart dollar.
And
okay.
I started it, but I didn't actually get into it. And so a couple years later, I had that epiphany moment where it was just like, I'm tired of living this way. I make too much and I do too well to live this way. And that's when I remembered the program. And so I looked it up and actually bought the program myself. And that was my investment.
And, Brett, let me ask you this, buddy. What's your relationship like with your in-laws? Are you guys close or somewhat close?
Yeah, no, we're really close. We've, like I said, I've been knowing them for about 10 years now. Okay. So, me and her dad go hunting and,
I think you've got an excellent opportunity to have conversations in love. And what I mean by that is not necessarily telling them what they need to do, but talking about what you've done and what you and your wife are doing and what it's doing for your relationship. See, too many times we start off and we want to have one conversation, and that's a start. That's an introduction. I would have just a series of conversations with him from the heart, man to man. Your wife can do the same thing with her mom, but let him know you're there to help. The crazy thing is Dave's been doing this stuff for 30 years, knowing what works, but then you have people that won't do it until they get ready to do it.
There's people in my family don't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm freaking Dave Ramsey. Think about that.
Think about that, yes. So you can't control them. You can't
make grown-ups not be stupid. But what you can do is talk about what happened to you. No one can really debate your story. What did you do? And you can just say, man, I was this way, and I was tired, and I was sick and tired of being broke, and I was sick of those $35 things, and they had it at my work, and then I half-butt did that, and I blew that off, and then finally I hit the wall, and this is what happened, and man, we paid off $14,000, we're going to be debt-free by my birthday, I'm just so excited, and all you're doing is just telling your story. You don't say a word about how stupid he is.
Right.
Just let him, because he'll figure that part out. You don't have to teach him that. He'll give you an opening line, and it'll say something like, "Yeah, man, I wish I could do that." Really? Do you really? Because, man, I would be honored to help. I'd be honored to get in Financial Peace University. I'd be your biggest cheerleader, man, if you'd work on it, because I really think you guys could go big, man. And it's working for us, but, whatever you want to do. But if you want some help, man, oh, God, don't wish, because the genie will come out of the bottle, man. I wish. Poof, here he comes, right? But if he just looks at you like you're dumb, don't say another word.
Right.
Just talk about your story And you have to be real careful talking to other people's parents anyway, so probably she is going to have more influence with her parents than you ever will.
Now, hear this too, Brett.
You're always going to be an outlaw.
Yeah, and you talking about your story is not bragging. That's fact. You're talking about the facts of what you all have done.
Yeah.
Right. And see, I've had similar conversations, and it wasn't a bragging thing. It was more of like, kind of just like you said, just trying to kind of.
But if they don't take the bait, you can't help them, man. Because
they blame it on that I have a better job.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You pretend like they're not your in-laws. Just pretend like they're friends of yours. They're a little bit older.
Right.
How would you convince a friend? Well, you wouldn't get all up in your friend's business. You would be persuasive, and you wouldn't be finger wagging.
That's right.
With your own friend. And so don't use your father-in-law voice. Use your, I've got a friend who I wish he had more hope. I wish he didn't have such a victim mentality. I wish he would do this stuff, and how can I help my friend have some hope? How can I do that? And if you'll just change that voice in your head, it changes the words you use.
No, it does. It changes the narrative too. I mean, just in the approach. And then, Brett, you and your wife having a conversation about what you guys can control, and that's you. What are y'all willing to do, and what are you willing not to do? And I think that bond is going to be absolutely crucial, for you guys to stay on the same page.
Yeah, I'm the generation now that I've got all my friends have grown kids.
Right.
And most of them got grandbabies. And so we've all had the conversation, my friends, my 60-year-old, 55-year-old friends, and it's like, you can't make your kids behave. And, what about this kid's doing that? That kid's doing that. And these are 34-year-olds you're talking about, And you go, well, if you use your dad voice on them, it shuts down everything.
Yeah.
But if you just sit down and have a conversation as a friend, you approach it differently, the likelihood of them hearing it increases. But it's the only thing you got left. It's the most frustrating stage of parenting because it's the only stage of parenting where you can't tell them what to do.
Yeah, I was reading some books, and it says, don't use the word should. Because don't should on people. Because when you should on them, what happens is they get defensive. And I thought, whoa, I'm going to write that down. I need to tweet it.
That's a quotable quote.
I know.
That's one that
You're going to steal it before I get it down there.
You're going to steal it or I'm going to.
Do it right now.
Don't should on people. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.